Hello everybody, today we're going to do our FCE class, so make sure you have the correct book. And as I said from the last lesson, we're going to start a new topic. It's called determiners and pronouns, okay? So please open your book up to page 169 and we should start now. Alright, we have a couple of pages to do, so from 169 to 172. Alright, just quickly, let's go through the tables over here on the top the top part of the page, alright? So we have a sub box on top and it talks about determiners. And what exactly are determiners? So can we all read through these, alright? Alright, so determiners are indefinite articles, which are a and an, or and an. Definite articles, which is the, okay? So indefinite means the opposite of definite. Definite is we know what we're referring to. Indefinite means, right, if it's a first time that's been talked about. Then we have the demonstratives, okay, or demonstratives, okay? These are the this, these, that, and those. Now notice when we have the demonstrative, right, we have this and these together, that and those separately. We will talk about that later, right? We also have possessive adjectives. This is also a determiner, okay? So my, your, his, etc. Quantifiers. The word quantify, right, means to talk about the amount. So some, any, every, no, both, etc. And lastly, we have numbers, okay? So these are also determiners because it determines how many we have, right? So 1 pen, 2 pens, 3 pens, etc. Alright, so talking about demonstratives or demonstratives, okay? We have this, these, that, and those, okay? So this, these, right, on the big table. Right, so this and these are for things near you or near us, near whoever is talking, right? And this is singular, these are plural. We already know that. For the second one, that and those. So if this and these are near you, that and those are for things not near us or not near the speaker. Okay, that is for singular. Those are for plural. Okay. Now please read the note. Okay, so this, these, that, those are not always followed by nouns. Okay. So this week is a noun, right? 7 days. What about the example they gave? Okay, so this is all I can do to help you. So this refers to the situation that he can do or she can do, right? This is all I can do to help you. So not a noun, right? Anyway, let's move on forward. So this should be very simple, right? You have 16 questions. I'll let you do the last ones by yourselves. I will go through 2 to 10 together. What else? And then 11 to 16 by yourself, okay? Alright, so we have this country or city, right? In, I think it's in Russia, right? Moscow. I'll never forget my holiday in Moscow. That was a holiday of a lifetime. So that refers to the holiday in Moscow, right? Number 2, what are you doing Thursday? Well, I have to go to work as usual. You were asking someone, right, what they're doing on Thursday. So which Thursday is that? This Thursday, right? What are you doing this Thursday? Good work. Next one. Didn't you just love blank striped trousers in the shop we've just passed? Okay, so we're talking about the striped trousers. And are we far or near? Just near or far? What do you think? We're far away, right? So we're pointing to something far away from us. And mind you, trousers, right? Pair of trousers. There's an S there, so it should be those. Alright? Continuing on, let's go to number 4, alright? So number 4, blank is the best soup I've ever tasted. So we are referring to the soup we are eating, right? And that should be close to you. Now soup, a bowl of soup, right? So it should be this. Okay? What about number 5? Number 5. Do you see blank girl over there? She's my cousin's girlfriend. So we are pointing to a girl quite far away, and this is just one girl. That, right? That. Alright, what about the next one? Alright, the next one. Number 6. Hello, blank is Mrs. Cook. Can I speak to Mr. Brown, please? This, right? Alright, number 7. Number 7. I can't go out blank dress. It's too tight. It could be this or that, right? We're referring to one thing. We don't know if it's near us or far away. So this or that works fine, okay? Number 8. I've been accepted to by my first choice of university. Congratulations. Blank fantastic. Or blank is fantastic. Should be that is, right? So this is similar to the note from above, right? That, these, those, this doesn't have to be, doesn't have to have a noun that follows them, okay? It should be open to different situations. Number 9, blank were the days when we used to sing and dance every night. So we're talking about the days from a long time ago, right? And days, plural. And those days are far away from us, so it should be those, right? Capital T, start of a new sentence. Those were the days, okay? Number 10, do you think blank electronic diaries that we saw in the shop are really clever? So, again, same as this one, number 3, right? Talking about an item in the shop, right? So it should be those. And it's more than one. Alright? Those. Alright, so I'll give you some time to do questions number 11 to 16. I'll give you around a minute. It should be very easy. A minute for you guys to do that, and then I will move on to the next one. Okay, your minute starts now. Okay, your minute is up. Okay, so that should be a simple exercise for all of us, right? So now let's go to part 2. Very simple as well, similar. Fill in this, that, these, and those. Again, we have 5 questions. Number 1 has been done. What do you think of that dress, Priscilla, right? We're asking a girl named Priscilla about that dress, right? We are pointing to. What do you think of that dress Priscilla was wearing last night? So we're talking about that dress from last night, right? So it should be that. Oh, it was awful, wasn't it? And blank earrings, okay? So that dress, blank earrings. Those earrings, right? And those earrings, unless, of course, whoever is speaking has the actual earrings on her hand, and she can say, but these earrings were terrible last night, right? But, she doesn't have those earrings near her, so it should be those earrings, right? Her sense of style is even worse, blank days. That means almost every day her sense of style is bad. And every day is something we are very close to because we're always waking up every day, right? It should be these. Alright, so these days, then it was when she was at school. I wonder what outrageous outfit she'll be wearing to the Windsor cocktail party blank evening. This evening, we're talking about later today, right? So this evening. This day's evening. Okay, blank is something that we should wait and see, right? So we're talking about the situation of her wearing something hideous again. So that is the situation that we should wait and see. Okay? Very simple. Alright. Okay, moving on, let's go to the next page, alright? So next page, part 3, we have another big table, a lot of, we have a lot of fill in the blanks, right? So we're going to talk about quantifiers. So what are quantifiers, right? Quantifiers are words we use to quantify, right? Quantify means to talk about how many, without actually using numbers, okay? Not numbers, just words and phrases, alright? So let's go through them one by one. We have all, which refers to more. than two people or things, it has a positive meaning and takes a verb in the plural. So all of them, all boys, all girls, all pencils, right? So all follows with a plural, right? A plural. And of course, the verb, right? A verb in the positive tone. Okay, so it is the opposite of none, okay? So N-O-N-E is the opposite of all, right? So all and none are opposite. So all of the students went to school on time, okay? And if you want to say the opposite of all, right? So everyone did not. So if you say everyone did not go to school on time versus all students went to school on time, you can say none of them went to school on time, okay? Or none of the students. Make sure you have the of, right? And then we have all plus that clause, okay, so the only thing. So it takes a singular verb. So all of that he said was not to worry, right? All of that they did, right? All that they said, right? Singular verb, okay, so the verb does not change. I mean, it changes with tenses, but not in singular or plural, okay? So he said, they said, okay? Moving on, both refers to two people or things, right? Both is always two, never more than two, okay? Or less than two. Both means always two things or people. It has a positive meaning and takes a verb in the plural, okay? So both Pam and Anne are singers, okay? Are. It is the opposite of neither or not either, okay? Not either Pam and Anne are singers. That means they are not singers. Neither Pam nor Anne are singers. That means they're not singers. Okay, so both, neither, not either. Okay, these are opposites. Then we have whole. Okay, so whole refers to countable nouns. Okay, so for example, if we say throughout the whole day, right? We can't say all the days. It's whole day. So it's part of a thing, right? So it's a countable noun, okay? We always use a, the, this, my, etc. plus whole plus countable, okay? So the whole day, right? Means all day. Either or either means any one of the two. Neither or neither means not one and not the other, okay? So referring to people or things and are used before singular countable nouns. So neither girl enjoys horror films. So we're talking about maybe two girls that we know, and none of them, right? None of them, not even one, enjoys horror films. So neither girls, right? So not one or the other. Neither of or either of. Okay, so these are quite are hard to wrap our heads around if we don't really understand. So neither of, right, takes a verb either in the singular or plural. So it can be both singular and plural, and it's the same case with either of, okay? So neither of them is French, right? Or neither of them are French. That's fine too, okay? Then none, we talked about none, opposite of all. None of, same as all of, right? Every. So every is used in singular countable nouns. It refers to a group of people or things and means all, everyone, or everything. So you know how whole means a part, means the whole part, right? So one part, but we have the whole thing. Every is similar, right? But it's usually for a group of things or people, okay? So he goes to the gym every day. So that's a collection of days, right? We have 7 days in a week, and in those 7 days he goes all those days, right? Each, right? Each is I guess you can say the opposite of every, right? So each means every one, right? Of each, okay? So every one of each, okay, or each one of the players is given a bonus, okay? That means each player is given a bonus. So it's similar to every, okay, but not exactly the same context, all right? Next one or ones are used to avoid repetition of a countable noun. All right, repetition means to repeat, right? So when you're asked a question like, which dress do you like? And then someone says, this one. All right, those are called ellipses, okay, where you remove the whole situation of dress that you like becomes this one, okay? One means that you like, all right? Okay, so now let's go to part 3, okay, and underline the correct items, all right? So number 1 has been done for us. So is it neither Mozart or Beethoven were great composers, or both, okay? So both of them, right? We're talking about two people, so it should be both. Okay? All right, now let's go to number 2. Okay, so it's neither Sam or David will clean the garage, or either Sam or David will clean the garage. Okay, what do you think? We have or here, right? So it should be either. Okay, if it's neither, then it's nor. Okay, so none of them. All right, number 3. All right, let's go to number 3. I finished the whole exercise in 5 minutes, or I finished the all exercise. All right. Whole, right? We're talking about parts, okay? Parts of a thing, so whole. All right, next one, number 4. I've kept in touch with all my school friends, or I've kept in touch with every my school friends. All, right? All of my school friends. All right, so I guess you can see the patterns here, right? Some of the quantifiers are similar in meaning, but you see how we use them in a sentence, right? When the structures are being used, grammatical structures, then you know which one naturally, right, to use. All right, number 5. Neither of the girls passed the exam. They both failed, or either of the girls passed the exam. They both failed. So passing and failing, right? Passing is the opposite of failing, so it should be the negative, which is neither, right? Neither of the girls passed nor passed the examination. Number 6. Victor goes to the same restaurant all day or every day. Again, all day means the whole day, right? So is it every day or all day? If all day, that means he goes in and out almost every time, right? In one day. Every day means he goes there 7 days of a week. So what do you think? Right, it's every. Every, right? All right, number 7. None or each of the people he contacted were interested. Okay, so each of the people he contacted were interested. None of the people he contacted were interested. So each here doesn't work, right? So it should be none. All right, now let's go on to number 8. Okay, number 8. We have to pay our telephone bill each 3 months or every 3 months. Okay, so each 3 months, if we use that, although it's the grammar is problematic. If we say each 3 months, then that means every month, basically, right? In a group of 3, right? And every 3 months means in 3 months' time I will pay, and then another 3 months' time I will pay. So we have an interval of 3 months. So what do you think? Right, it's every 3 months. Okay. All right, let's move on again. Number 9. You'll get fat if you eat all the biscuits or none of those biscuits. What do you think? All right, how can you get fat by not eating a lot, right? It should be all. All right, number 10. Either or both Tom and Lynn had a good time. So either, again, either means any of the two, right? Right, it should be both, okay? 2 people. Okay, let's move on forward. Number 11, okay? She spent the whole afternoon or all afternoon lying on the beach. Again, part of the afternoon, okay? So the whole. Think of it as a chunk, right? And then we have the whole afternoon versus a part of the afternoon, right? All right, number 12, okay? Let's go to number 12. Each or all of the candidates will be interviewed individually. What do you think? All of the candidates, right? So no one is removed. Although each has a similar meaning, right? But each is each means every one of each, right? All right, next one, number 13. None of or every the students believe that the exam results would be released so early. Right, we have the student, so that is over there, right? We should have a none of, right? I think we found that on the box, right? The second part of none. So none of. None of. And then we have question number 14, right? Number 14, I don't like either or neither of these coats. Okay, so here we have a negative, right? I do not like. So when we already have a negative, we can't use another negative. So neither is cancelled out, so it should be either. I don't like either. And this is a choice, right? Either or. All right. All right, so you have a couple of I'll give you, again, 1 minute, just 1 minute to finish 14, so 15 to 26, all right? Very easy, just a minute, just underline, all right? Your minute starts now. All right, okay, the minute is up. Okay, so that should have been an easy exercise for everybody. Okay, if you had some troubles, refer back to the table that is given above. All right, so now let's move on to page 171. Okay, so 171, we have the continuation of the quantifiers. Okay, so we'll continue talking about quantifiers here. So for number 4, part 4, fill in all, both, whole, either, neither, none, every, each, or one, or ones. Okay? Very easy. Quickly now, let's do it together. We have 10 questions. One has been given as an example. Alright, so none of the toxic waste has been cleared up by the company. Number 2, he's studying, blank, politics and modern languages at university. So 2 subjects, and he is studying the 2 of them for sure, so it should be both, right? Again, both is only used for 2, okay? Not more than 2, not less than 2. Number 3, I think these are the blank you like. Again, we call these ellipses, okay? Where we remove a word and change it with another, right? So where these are the ones that you like, right? Ones, right? Have you seen those pants with the leather lining? And then someone said, oh, the ones that we saw at the park, right? The ones, so the pants with the leather lining. So you changed the pants with the leather lining to ones, okay? Number 4, they spent the blank day packing for their holiday. Again, talking about day, so whole day, not all day, whole. Different from every. Every means all the time, right? 7 days a week. Let's continue. Number 5, she spends blank her time studying for her exams. All her time, right? All her time. Alright, number 6, in blank game, there is an element of risk. Risk is danger, okay? So, what do you think? In all game, so if it's all, then it should be games, right? In whole game, no. In either game, no. In neither game, in none. In every game. Yes, right, in every game. So all the games that there is. In every game. Oh, there's also another way to answer that. If we're talking about the games that we have in front of us, we can say in each game, right? In each game that I have given you, there is an element of risk, okay? Next one, John and Fiona had a lot of work yesterday. Blank of them went out. So they had a lot of work yesterday. Do you think they had the time to go out? No, right? So that should be a negative sentence. So it should be talking about the 2 of them. Right, none of them went, so neither. Neither went out. Or not, neither one of them went out. You can say none of them went out too. You can say none of, okay? Alright, number 8. Do you like this skirt? I think that blank is more flattering. Again, same as number 3, right? But mind you, whereas number 3 is a plural, right? These. Number 8 is a singular, right? Because it's this skirt. This skirt. Okay, change this skirt to that one, okay? Number 9, the members of the club were blank given copies of the regulations. We're all given copies, okay? We're all given copies of the regulation, okay? Number 10, lastly, both of these dictionaries are excellent. Blank of them will help you in your studies. So both of these dictionaries are good. Either one of them. Okay, one and the other, or one or the other, okay? Either. Alright, before we head down to part 5 and 6, okay? Parts 5 and 6, we should read the box, okay? So both and, okay? So both, the structure of both and are to be followed with a plural verb. So the plural verb, right, is usually are, okay? What else? Runs, okay, etc. Any verbs that are in the plural form, so using they and we, okay? So both, of course, talks about two people, right? So both Anne and Liz are vegetarian, so both and are, okay? Number 2, we have neither nor, either or, not only but also, and then it follows a singular or a plural verb depending on the subject to which follows, okay? So it's not always one rule, it depends on the subject which follows, nor, or, but also, okay? So neither Bill nor John is willing to help. So Bill nor John, how many people is in there? 2, right? But in their respective zones. Bill, one person, nor John, another person. So there's only one in their respective cases. Okay? So that's why they say is, right? Neither Bill nor John is willing to help. Now let's look at the next one. Not only Sue, but also her family are, okay? So not only means not excluding or not including only Sue, but also her family, right? So her family and Sue are going to the wedding, okay? All right, so it depends on the verbs, the nouns to follow, okay, or the subjects to follow. If there's more than one, okay, in both situations, or only one in each situation or both situation, right? All right, so number 5, let's go do number 5 now then. Let's rewrite the sentences. You have 10 sentences to write. I will only do 4 with you today. I'll give you some time later. I'll give you around 2.5 minutes. If you can't finish that, then you can do it at home, all right? So we have to rewrite the sentence with both and, neither nor, either or, not only but also, okay? So I keep hearing not only but also a lot, right? In Hong Kong's curriculum, it's very well used, not only but also. But let's try to use other sentences. All right, so number 1 is an example. Kay is a doctor and so is Niall, okay? So both Kay and Niall are doctors, okay? So that's a simple way to put it. Karen will pick you up from the station or else Miles will. So we're talking about two people, either of them, right? So that's my hint. Either of them will pick you up. So Karen will pick you up from the station or else Miles will. So either Karen or Miles will pick you up from the station. Okay, so either of them, right? One of them will do it, okay? So it's, if Miles can't do it, then Karen will. If Karen can't do it, then Miles will. So either of them, right? Either Karen or. So either or. All right, let's go to part 3. John hasn't been to Germany and his brother hasn't either. So none of them, right? So John hasn't been to Germany, so not, and his brother hasn't been either. So hasn't been either. We have the word either here, but we have to change it to the negative, right? So it's neither. You can say neither too, right? Both words are okay. Neither, neither, it's fine. Neither John. Okay, this is the first person. And then we have or as well, right? Or. But since we have neither here, we will change it. We change or to nor. So neither John nor his brother. Okay, we don't know his name. Has been to Germany. Okay, etc. So please write that down. Has been to Germany. Oh wait, I have space here. Let me write that down. or his brother has been to Germany. Full stop. Alright? So neither John nor his brother have been. Sorry. Let me correct that. Oh, that's fine. That's fine, right? See, this is another explanation I should do, right? So we have one person here, his brother, one person as well, right? In their respective zones, right? We have one in each. So this reflects the verb to follow, okay? Has been, right? So we're talking about John has not been, right? His brother and John, right? All right, let's continue. Number 4. Joe and Jim don't speak French. Oh, sorry, Joe and Jim speak French, okay? So again, we're talking about the two of them. Two of them do speak French, so yes, right? So how do we change that to a simpler sentence? Easy, right? Just say both. Both Joe and Jim speak French. Alright, simple. Alright, last one together, number 5. Paul doesn't like going to the cinema. Tim doesn't either, okay? So again, Tim doesn't either. Does not either. A negative and either will become neither, right? So neither. Who are the people again? Tim and someone. Paul and Tim. So neither Paul, okay? And then of course in between we have to write nor. Tim, I think it's Tim, yes. Tim likes going to the cinema. Okay, so neither nor is just the opposite of either or, okay? Alright, so I'll give you around two and a half minutes, alright? Just go do questions 6 to 10, alright? 2.5. Should be very easy, right? If you don't have enough time, again, I'll give you the time after the class to finish that by yourself. Alright? Alright, you have 30 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Alright, so, okay, check your answers later. If you couldn't finish everything, please do so after the class, alright? And then we will check together in the next coming lesson, alright? Alright, number 6. Complete the sentences using the words in bold. Okay, so we have 7 questions we'll do together. The last 2 you will try to do it by yourself. We'll give you some time, okay? Alright, so the first word, right, is but. The second or the third one is are, or, and, nor, and also, okay? So let's look at the example done for us. Okay, so my aunt lives on a farm and so does my cousin. So my aunt lives on a farm and also my cousin does. Okay, maybe it's your aunt's son or daughter. So they use both, okay? And then we're missing the people. We're missing the aunt and the cousin and the action of living, right, on a farm. So it should be both my aunt and my cousin, or both my aunt and cousin live on a farm. All right? Okay, let's move on to the second one. So, but, okay, the word is but. Danny can speak Chinese, and so can his brother. Danny can speak Chinese, and so can his brother. So this is a positive sentence, right? They both can speak Chinese. So if we use both, we can say, both Danny and his brother can speak Chinese. But here we have not. Sorry, we have not, the word not. So it should be not only, right? Not only Danny, comma, but also his brother can speak Chinese, okay? So not only, right? So not just him, also his brother can speak Chinese, right? Alright, so number 3, let's go to number 3. Gordon is a journalist. His wife is too. Journalists are people who write the news, okay? They can work in the TV or the newspaper or magazines, right? So what do you think? Gordon is a journalist. His wife is too. Okay, then we have both, right? We have both and the word are. So if it's just one, right? Then we don't need to use both. But both means 2 people. So both Gordon and his wife. And that's where we'll use the word are, okay? Are journalists. Okay? Gordon and his wife are both journalists. Alright, so let's move on forward. The exhibition will be opened by the mayor or the queen. So the exhibition is like a display for art or cultural artifacts, right? So we have or, and then we start with either, and then we have the people missing, the mayor or the queen. So mayor is like I guess the closest you can have here in Hong Kong is district councillor, right? So similar. Alright, so either the mayor or who else is that? The queen. Mind you, Q is a capital, okay? It's a title. Will. So either the mayor or the queen will open the exhibition. Alright? Alright, let's continue. Number 5. Not only Patricia, but also her husband want to immigrate. Okay, immigrate means to move to a different country. Alright. How do I explain this? Okay, so try to look at number 5 and then look at number 2. Okay, so number 5, you see that there's an opposite there, right? So they kind of swapped the structure of changing. And that's a big hint for you already, so you should know the answer for number 5 already. So it should be both Patricia and her husband want to emigrate, okay? Both. Oops, should be big letter P. It's a person's name. Put Patricia and her husband want. Okay, singular, because they want. Okay, this is W. Okay, again, just small explanation. Emigrate with letter E means to move out of a country, right, to somewhere else. Immigrate means to move into a country from somewhere else. Those two are different things, right, but similar in meaning. Alright, so number 6, she doesn't enjoy sleeping in a tent, and nor does her sister. We start with either. Or sorry, we start with neither. So very simple, right? Neither she nor her. Neither she nor her sister enjoys, so they. Right. But here we talk about the choice, right? Either of them do not, so neither of them enjoy. So she does not enjoy, her sister does not enjoy. Okay, so this is not the plural enjoys. So if we say neither she nor her sister enjoys, right, that is grammatically incorrect. Alright, number 7, Bob is about to leave. Helen is about to leave too. So again, we have both of them leaving, right? Separated by a semicolon, but here in this case we put them together. So not only Bob. When we have the first subject or the first person, we will put a comma. Not only Bob, but also. But also Helen is. Similar thing here, right? So we have two people, but both of them are in separate situations of leaving, right? So Bob is leaving. Helen is also leaving. Okay, so not are. It should be is. Okay? Bob, not only Bob, okay, but also Helen is leaving. So the comma here, right, in between the comma and the word Bob, we have not only is Bob leaving. So we have is, right? Not only is Bob leaving, but we change it to not only Bob because the emphasis is here, but also Helen is leaving or about to leave too, right? Okay, that's why we use is and not are. Okay, these are two separate people, not leaving together, right? Okay, all right. So now let's move on to the next page, all right? So the next page has a lot of again, a lot of items to talk about, right? So on page 172, we have a lot of many, much, okay? So I'm pretty sure you guys know this very well, but let's go through it very briefly, all right? So we have countables and uncountable nouns, right? We have countables and uncountable. Very self-explanatory. Countables means things that you can count. Uncountables means cannot count, right? So we have positive, interrogative, and negative, okay? Positive means the words without not, okay? Interrogative means asking questions to interrogate. And negative, right? Negative means usually has the word not or no, all right? All right, so for positive countables, right? Countables, things that we can count. We can say a lot of or lots of or many. All right, so I have many friends, right? How many friends exactly? I have 20 friends, right? So I can count my friends, and that's many, okay? Or that's a lot, okay? And then for uncountables, we have a lot of and lots of. So similar, right? But the difference here is much, okay? Many and much. So I can't say, how many money do you have, right? You can't count money. You can't say I have 10 monies, right? But you can count the amount. So how much is it? Or how much money do you have? I have $10, right? So much here is used for the uncountables. And then we will further use amounts to talk about the quantity. Not how many, okay? But how much. Alright, so the examples of a lot of here is there are a lot of animals in the zoo. There is a lot of sugar in my coffee. Now I don't know why they only gave you examples of a lot of, and instead they didn't give you examples of lots of or much, many, and much. Right? It should have been those examples instead. But anyway, let's move on forward. Interrogative, many and much. Okay. So interrogative, right? So are there many, okay, or are there many books in the library? Now, again, there's another way of asking this question, which is not too clumsy as this. So, is there any, right? Any. So, or are there any? Do you have some instead of much? Okay. Did you have much time to read any of them? Did you have some time to read any of them? Right. So some could be used as well. Anyway, let's not ponder on that too much. So let's just pay attention to what's been instructed on the book. So many and much, okay? Are there many books in the library? Do you have much time to read any of them? Can you count time? You can count the different times, right? So 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but you can't really count time itself, right? Okay, number 3, the third point, negative, right? So with the words no or not. So not many, are not many, aren't many, okay? I do not have much money. I don't have money. That is too much, right? And then we have a few or some, very few, not many, and not enough. Okay, so these are what it means. A little also means some. Okay, so very little, not much, or not enough. Okay, so a few students passed the test. So some students passed the test, right? Very few prisoners escaped from prison. That means not many prisoners escaped from prison. A little salt gives flavor to food. So some salt gives flavor to food. Okay. And then of course we have the disambiguation of a lot of, a lots, lots of, a lot, many plus countable, much plus uncountables. Okay. We also have a few plus countables, a little plus uncountables, few plus countables, little plus uncountables, very few, very little, only a few, only a little. All right. So let's go through them one by one. All right. Let me see if we do have enough time. All right. So let's go through them one by one. Okay. So a lot of, or a lot, or lots of. All right. They're followed by either. So both. Okay. So either countable or uncountable nouns, and are normally used in positive sentence. Okay. So a lot of, lots of, a lot, positive sentence with countable or uncountable nouns. All right, so let's look at the countable, right? So a lot of people attended the ceremony. Okay, so we can count the people. How many exactly? Maybe 300. She's got lots of furniture. Can we count furniture? We cannot count furniture, but we can count the types of furniture. I have 3 chairs, but you can't say I have 3 furnitures, right? So here is the example of countable and uncountable. Now, a lot of can also be used in questions and negations, okay? Negations means the negative, right? In informal English. So in informal means spoken, right? Different from written. So was there a lot of disagreement over the proposal, right? Was there a lot of disagreement, right? Was there much disagreement instead of a lot of? But you know, language changes over time, so you can use a lot of in spoken English now. Otherwise, it would be much, right? Was there much disagreement? Were there many people? Okay. The second point down below, many plus countables and much plus uncountables are normally used in questions or negations. Again, same thing, questions or negations. Are there many cakes, right? Are there many cakes? How many cakes are there, right? So instead of saying how many cakes are there, you can say are there many cakes, okay? There isn't much Coke. There isn't much Coke. So these are just some negations. There is not much Coke, you can't count Coke, right? Many and much are often used in positive sentences after to, so, how, or in formal English, okay? So she didn't realize how much money she had spent. So how, and then we have much, right? You should slow down. You're doing too much. You're doing too much, all right? Okay, let's move on forward. The third part, okay, third point. A few, which means some, so or a small number, plus countables, okay, or a little, which also means some, or a small amount of. Okay, so a few, small number. A little, a small amount, okay? So I have fewer students in class because of the coronavirus. I can't say I have a little, right? I can count my students. I have 3, now I have a few, so maybe just 1 or 2, okay? A little, right, for things that you can't count. For example, salt. Can you count all the small tiny grains of salt? Not really, right? Especially if it's some iodized salt. So you say a little bit of salt makes food taste better, not a few, right? A little. All right, so I have little money, so I'll buy a few sweets, right? I have a little money left, I'll buy a few sweets. So little money, I cannot count money, but I can count the amount, how much, right? And then I'll buy a few sweets. I can count the sweets that I buy. I'll buy 10 sweets with $5, right? So how much money? All right, let's go to the fourth part, okay? Few and little, okay? So few means not many, or almost none, almost zero, right? So that's the difference between a few and few, right? So few people, right, versus I have a few people left. Those are two different things. So few is to be paired with countables, similar to a few. Little means not much, or almost not zero, right? Is paired with uncountable, so similar to the one above. We also use this as negation, right? So negative, and rather than formal in English. Okay, so again, this means we will use it in the negative sentencing, but without the use of not, without the use of no or not. Okay, so let's try to read the example. So few English people speak a second language. Okay, so few people who speak English speak a second language. So almost not even many. Okay, so few, we can count the people. I've had very little success with my job applications. So little success, can you count the success, right? You can't count, but you can count the amount of success that you have, right? If you did very well or very bad, okay? Not a particular number, okay? He's only had a few problems. Now this one, a few means a small number of, so similar as the one on top. You look at the 1, 2, 3, the third point, okay? So had only a few problems in the exam, even though he had done only a little work for it, okay? So you see here how few and a few and a little is a little bit different, right? So mind you when you're writing, okay, those two are different. All right, so take some notes, okay? So all, most, some, any, many, a few, several, both, one, two, much, little are all followed by of when a noun follows. So how much of the money I lent you do you have left, right? So I lent someone some money, and how much of the money that I gave them do they still have? So of, right? What else? I have 2 of her pencils that I borrowed from her. I have to give it back to her. 2 of her pencils, right? So the pencils is the noun, we have of in between. I haven't seen many of my friends, right? I haven't seen many of my friends, or any of my friends if that's too hard for you. Any of my friends. All right? So for the exercise on part 7, okay, for part 7 we have 15 questions. We can all do them together, it's very easy. Let's go through them all together. Number 1 has been done as an example. A lot of patience, okay, patience to bring up children. So we have of there, right? Okay, so let's move on forward. There can't be blank people who haven't seen Jurassic Park. There can't be many people, right? Or you can say a lot of. So these two are quite synonymous, as you can see from the box above, right? A lot of and many. Sorry. Number 3. She doesn't have blank time to herself these days. Again, time. Can we count time? No, right? It's uncountable. We can count the hour of time. So it's much. She doesn't have much time these days. Okay, you can also say a lot of, right? So again, synonymous. A lot of can be used for countable and uncountable. So if you find yourself confused which one to use, you can just use a lot of, right? And no one will question. All right, number 4. Why haven't you washed the dishes? You didn't have blank else to do. Much else to do, right? We're talking about the thing that we're doing, right? Much else. All right, next one. He's very popular. He always has blank people at his house. All right, so very popular, that means he has what? A lot of people. All right, so in this case, many doesn't work, okay? Many. has many people at his house. I guess it works, but the context is a little different, right? Number 6, we don't get on very well as we haven't got blank in common. So they don't get along well because they don't have a lot of things in common, right? So it should be much in common, right? Or a lot in common. No noun, right? So not a lot of in common. Okay, let's move on. Number 7, will there be blank guests at the wedding? So we're talking about guests, right? People, so we can count there. Will there be many guests? Right? And then noun, of course, so we can say a lot of. All right. Number 8. Okay. Number 8. You need blank courage to be a firefighter. So courage is like let's just say mental strength, right? To be a firefighter. So what do we need? Do we need a few, a little, a lot, much, many? What do you think it should fit in there? Again, right? A lot of courage. Okay, a lot of courage. Then of course we have number 9. Have blank new people join the club this year. Have a lot of people. All right, a lot of people. All right, number 10. Number 10. There are 2 blank mistakes in your composition. Many, right? You can count the mistakes. How many mistakes did I do? Did I have? You had 10. All right. There's still food, right? A lot of food. Okay. Number 12. I hope we didn't make blank noise when we came in late last night. So what do you think for noise? Right. A lot of noise. Right. A lot of noise. If we don't want to use a lot of, we can say much. Right? Much. Alright, number 13. She's eaten blank sweets, so she doesn't feel well. We can count sweets, right? 2 sweets, 3 sweets. I bought 5 sweets in the market. So, many. She ate many sweets. Or a lot of. You can say a lot of too. So in this case, it's right, a lot of, many, much, a lot of. They're quite synonymous depending on the context. Alright, number 14. There's blank poverty in some African countries. Poverty, right? So it's a something that happens, right? So it's kind of a noun, so it should be a lot of. And lastly, right? She must have blank money to afford such expensive clothes. So where she has a big amount of money, right? So a lot of money. Okay? All right. So again, I'll just reiterate, right? We have words like many and much, which are quite synonymous, right? That means you can use it with or instead with a lot of. Now, mind you, we can use a lot of and a lot as well. You have to pay attention to the structure of the sentences. If it follows a noun, right, then we put of, okay? Or a happening, right? We put an of. If not really, then you don't put, if you don't put of, right? If it's preposition to follow, like I don't have a lot in common with you, so I don't know why we should be friends, right? Okay. All right, just to wrap things up a little bit, right? We have determiners, right? Again, this is really what we're learning today, determiners, right? Determiners, we have different parts. We have the demonstratives, right? This, that, these, those. We also have the quantifiers. So all, both, whole, etc. And then lastly, we have these a lot of, many, much, right? And then under those categories, we have a little and a few, right? Or little or few. So try to do some recap at home by yourself to understand deeper, right? And then next lesson, we will kind of play with it a little bit, right? So we will try to mix things up a little bit in sentences. And then we will also have in what I talked about. So some, any, or no, right? So the some, any, or no are similar to a lot of, many, much, or not a lot of, right? So try to, again, be familiar with these determiners, okay? All right? And then we will go back to it next week, and we will try to mix things up, all right? Okay, everyone. So that's it for today. We did page 169 to 172 for FCE class. Remember to finish the parts that you didn't finish, all right? And we will check on that again next week. All right, bye-bye.